Yes, I'm still wearing the mask, and I'll be wearing the mask until we know for certain that Zack Snyder's movie is coming out. So, as you can see, I'm not normally on my normal seat. I don't have the big flappy sign behind me that's going to knock me out one of these days. It's just that I'm just off the night shift and I'm doing this before I go to bed. So, what is the news that interests me today? Well, I saw Grace Randolph, and she's wondering why everybody is tweeting about DC. So this was what she'd put up. So, if you wondered why DC Comics is trending, it's because one of the biggest of the two, Marvel and DC, just imploded in a single day, and the comic book industry will never be the same. We will cover tomorrow a full breakdown, so check out Grace Randolph. I've always worried about the comics ever since digital stuff has came out, because I like paper. I do. I love opening the book and turning the pages and everything else. I just love the smell. I like collecting them, put them in the packet, and you can't do that with a phone or a laptop. And everything's just getting, you talk about the cinema, the movies, and what's happening with HBO is that they're just wanting to, because of this COVID-19, they're just wanting everything streaming. You'll get some people saying, oh, they're taking this away from the DC universe and they're putting it on HBO Max and everything else. And it worries me because, well, first of all, I don't get the Harley Quinn cartoons that are said to be going to HBO Max. I just find I have to wait until to see what comes on Netflix, or if it comes out in DVD. That's the only chance I can get it. And of course, Zack Snyder's movie, we don't get HBO, so when are we going to see it? So there's this article that I came across from The Beat. Layoffs at DC expected today amid restructuring at Warner Brothers. Now, as you remember, a video or 2 videos ago, I talked about the guy that actually talked about Zack Snyder's cut and that they could use that, and then they paid him off. And it has got most of the DC fandom worried. What's going to what's going to happen with the DC comics. So on Friday, a large reorganisation for Warner Brothers was announced, with 2 veteran programming executives leaving and a renewed focus on HBO Max. Friday's restructuring included the announcement that Warner Media Entertainment and direct-to-consumer chairman Bob Greenblatt and content chief and TBS, TNT and True TV president Kevin Riley were gone. New Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar will lead a new streamlined team where HBO Max is led by Andy Forssell and Casey Bloys, in charge of the original content. And Sarnoff, currently CEO and chair of Warner Brothers, will lead the new studios and network groups, which includes all films and TV production. You can read the entire memo below. There was no mention of DC Entertainment specifically, other than it remains under Pam Lifford's global brands and franchise groups, which is still part of the studio and networks under Sarnoff. Warner Brothers Interactive also stays with Warner Brothers after some rumours that it would be sold off. You can read the entire memo below. That with the theatrical release on hold while COVID roams unchecked in the US and in lesser numbers elsewhere, Warner Brothers, like all studios, even Disney, is facing vastly lower profits. For instance, Christopher Nolan's long-awaited Tenet and the before times a surefire moneymaker for the studio has been postponed many times. For instance, with an opening such as it is later this month, Wonder Woman 84 has been similarly rescheduled many times. As Monday dawned, most spread that Warner expect some 600 layoffs, with the emphasis on Warner Brothers. For now, some heavy hitters have already been cut. The laid-off of employees include Warner Brothers CFO Kim Williams, Warner Brothers Worldwide Television Distribution President Jeff Schlesinger, and Ron Sanders, Warner Brothers President Worldwide Theatrical Distribution and Home Entertainment and Executive Vice President International Business Operations. Wow, it's so hard to talk with this, but here we go. The pink slips were handed out in departments encompassing film and TV and come in the aftermath of a major reconstruction at the company that saw Warner Brothers Entertainment and direct-to-consumer chairman Bob Greenblatt and content chief in TBS. Greenblatt is the one that, soldiered on for the Snyder Cut agencies, and all affected agencies like CAA and Endeavour and such studios at universities. I'm already hearing that layoffs are hitting DC, but not many of which departments. It's likely that all the shuffling around the DC Universe streaming platforms we mentioned this morning will also be part of the layoffs and streamlining. With even Hollywood's giant studios crippled COVID-19 enhanced unemployment benefits running out for millions, the upheaval and distribution caused by this global pandemic seems far from over. Warner Bros. Will update the story becomes available. The memo from Jason Keller. Team. It has been a little over 90 days since I joined the mission and the team. These past 3 months have exceeded my already high expectation. As I shared with you recently, my bullishness about our future has only grown as I have gotten to know you much better, and as I have gotten to know our company much better. As some of you may recall, I shared 3 thoughts with you on the first day email. 1. The history was filled with examples of special entrepreneurial companies that learned into moments of great change in order to better serve customers. 2. That our taking smart and bold risks is so important to all the road ahead. And 3. My belief that the missionary companies ultimately shine, and my strong belief that ours is a team filled with missionaries. Missionaries. We're on about Jesus here. With the above as context, I'd like to share some decisions I am announcing today that represent our leaning into this great moment of change, great moment you're laying people off to better serve our customers. These changes will be either timid or without risks, are possible in part because we are missionaries, yes, from God, that ultimately believe that we can and we will change the world through story. That is what all this comes back to. Because of the gift that is the internet, we have what I believe is one of the greatest opportunities in the history of the media, which is to deliver our beloved stories and experience directly to hundreds and millions of consumers across the globe. Really? When's HBO coming to the UK, or is it just for American missionaries? Earning the ambitious future won't come easy. To do so, I believe it's vital that we change how we are organised, and that we simplify, and that we act boldly with urgency. Basically, you're going to pay a lot of people off. The pandemic's economic pressures and acceleration to direct to consumer streaming, adoption places, and even premium on these points. To accomplish this, we must do the following. 1. We are elevating HBO Max and the organisation and expanding its scope globally. 2. We are simplifying how we organise our studios. 3. So does that mean people who are wankers like Joss Whedon, not allowed on the set, and you're going to let directors have their say. 3. We are creating a consolidated international unit focused on scale and efficiency and not reshooting a whole movie. 4. We are bringing our key commercial activities into one group to allow us to operate more strategically. 5. We are making more structural changes that will help us operate more effectively and efficiently. Andy Forsell, General Manager of HBO Max, will now be leading our newly created HBO Max operating business unit and report to me, Andy, and his team will be responsible for product marketing and consumers. We'll also be taking responsibilities for HBO Max and the Warner Brothers motion picture, and it goes on and simplifying our approach. That's a hell of a man. Look at this. I mean, that. Are we ready? Right, so that's the start of the memo there. I'm the dumb. Oh, that's it. There's the start. And da. Seriously. You can just basically say, listen, we're organising HBO. That's going to be our main focus point. And anybody that we feel that's not going to be in HBO, I'm sorry, but you're getting the pink slip. Doesn't matter how many creative thoughts and ideas you may have had. Hence, Zack Snyder's got a studio for himself out there. And by, I mean, the studios, I mean, I've seen this to earlier on. Doesn't matter when I was talking with Joss Whedon, and the treatment he gave to the stars, it doesn't matter what sort of money that you're making for these movies. You still get treated like shit. And when you're in a company, and helping to build that company for years, that doesn't matter. Even though you may have not made any wrong choices, you're getting a pink slip. This is why DC's trending. This is why movements like Zack Snyder for movement out there, I feel, is helping those people that have been trodden on. That's shining a light on those people that were not given a time to shine. And that's why I mentioned that producer who highlighted the Snyder Cut. Let's hope you guys and girls out there can highlight someone else for me or anybody, and let's get these people out there. That's my thoughts for the day. So I'll catch you next time. And if you've got anything at all you want to get discussed about the DC, let us know. Maybe you love the new digital format of comics, but then again, these comic stores and game places may eventually close down because there's no place to buy them. Everything's streamlined. We may never leave the house again. That's a scary thought. So please show your support, but get your subscription for HBO, buy comics, and support your DC brand in any which way you can. Thanks very much.